Hello everybody and welcome, it's me ShinMikamiX, and the game I'm bringing you today is none other than BioShock Infinite for PS3.
Booker, are you afraid of God?
No. But I'm afraid of you.
BioShock Infinite explores racial extremism which could make you feel a bit uncomfortable. It also explores the supernatural, making you recognize basically the decisions you make have serious consequences in the reality that you're playing in. BioShock Infinite is set in the 1912s, but it has a supernatural twist. So it gives you a traditional feel of America, and also giving you some relatable themes at the time, such as racism and whatnot. This traditional theme is then twisted when you implement new and intuitive things such as the use of airships, which were obviously not present at the time. So the general theme and lifestyle of what's going on is related to the 1912s, but the use of airships, grinding on rails, are things that obviously you could not do in the time. So it gives the game also a refreshing, unique and modern twist at the same time.
Should we go in?
If I told you a man could hoist a one-ton stallion straight into...
Look at her. Ain't she some kind of beauty?
BioShock Infinite requires you to use your mind a lot in this game. Basically, there are loads of riddles that you need to solve throughout the game, for example, such as the markings on your hand are very important later on in the game, and these are things that you have to be very perceptive of and notice, otherwise you're going to be stuck for a long time, which is also great because it can keep you playing for ages, but it can also quite bluntly get on your nerves. But when you've completed these riddles, you nonetheless feel also satisfied. With all the racial connotations that are highlighted within, such as white supremacy in BioShock Infinite, can really make you feel uncomfortable, but don't let that put you off the game. The game doesn't aim to insult, but merely illustrate how life was like at the time for an ethnic minority. You as main protagonists are refreshingly obviously against the racism, and you see so by your actions as you kill certain supremacists and certain political hierarchies. Playing BioShock Infinite really sends a shock to your system with all the high levels of blood and gore. This game is not for the faint. If you look at the designs of the environment, you can see that it's also quite similar to other previous Final Fantasy games where you have floating floating cities such as Columbia, and airships where you have to grind on certain rails. So giving the game a refreshing modern twist, I'm sure as I mentioned before.
Is anyone here? Hello?
Yes everybody, BioShock Infinite is inevitably a first-person shooter, but it's a very innovative one. So you throw special gadgets such as grenades and whatnot, but they're thrown in a special way. You also get to use special powers, for example, you can break these dull looking things, and it gives you the ability to basically throw fire at enemies. You can also warp dimensions with your comrade, who refreshingly isn't useless in this game like how you see in other first-person shooters such as Resident Evil, where the comrade that you're trying to protect is inevitably useless and cannot help you, but she helps you in this game. So what else is also effective is that it also basically makes combat unpredictable. For example, you could be stuck in a horde of enemies, and then for example she will warp an item from another timeline because she has that ability. She'll warp an item from another timeline in order to help you in battle. So this just adds basically dynamism to the gameplay, and keeping for an intuitive first-person shooter, basically breaking it away from the typical Battlefield, Call of Duty, setting this game in a category of its own.
Wonder why they got her locked up in this place.
BioShock Infinite is a very innovative game. Basically, it's not just, like I said before, as a first-person shooter. It's very intuitive. It has a combination of adventure in it, where you're exploring the environment, grinding on rails, decapitating enemies and whatnot. It has that kind of adventure feel to it as well. Also, the game is typically an RPG, as you can upgrade your weapons to essentially just gain more power. You gain more power by killing your enemies and basically ravaging through their corpses in order to be able to find special items, gain experience, and that's how you become stronger. As for the gameplay itself, it's thrilling and rewarding. BioShock Infinite CPU is very intelligent. Some enemies will run at you and hunt you down if you try to run away from them. Others are basically in a similar normal standard berserker style who are just crazy and start to shoot at you. So in conclusion, I think BioShock is a very good game, a very, very good game, which I do recommend picking up. It combines elements of typical first-person shooters, combined with RPG, combined with adventure games, all thrown into like a hybrid between like the 1912s and a modern contemporary world where you can basically bring in turrets from different dimensions and whatnot. So you're interacting with different timelines, so you're not just stuck in this one, timeline where in some cases is good, but you wouldn't really complain about it because it gives you like a refreshing break from like all the politics that are going on in the timeline that you are at to begin with. What I also like about BioShock Infinite is that although it is very although it is very can be very disturbing, it also is in a sense real. It keeps what life was like at the time very realistic, but it takes away from that realism by implementing things like such as magic and giving you like essentially mage powers, as well as having the abilities of like a typical first-person shooter where you hack down your enemies. And also what also is present in this game is the use of like several melee attacks where you can use your hook to decapitate your enemies, literally lob off their heads. So overall, for me, this is a very good game that I recommend everybody buy. And this game is officially released on PlayStation 3, Xbox and PC. So for me, Shin Megami X, the overall rating I've got to give this game is a good solid 9 for the reasons I've explained earlier. Well, this is my review of BioShock Infinite, guys. Let me know what you think. As always, comment, rate, subscribe for more game reviews. And yeah, this is me, Shin Megami X, aka Captain X, signing out. Take care and peace.
Stand down.